Sudha Halkai, you heard from the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister. They are saying that the driver made a mistake. He was an outsider. He didn't know the local roads of Bangalore. He didn't estimate how deep this underpass was. And therefore, he made the mistake thinking that he could drive through that water, but it was at least 4 or 5 meters deep. And it was largely his mistake that led to this accident.
Yeah, very good evening to all our viewers. First of all, my condolence to the departed soul and my regrets to the family who had come to visit our state and they had to succumb to this very unexpected and I don't have words to say for this. But the thing is, after our independence, it was more than 40 years or 51 years, the Congress government has ruled our Karnataka state. So the foundation was not up to mark and the comprehensive developmental plan was not implemented with tooth and nail. That is the reason that every monsoon we are facing this. It is not the first time that such incidents has happened, but in one or the other ways, we get to hear such incidents whenever the monsoon starts in Karnataka. So I think that, we have gone very much against the nature. I mean, the people of Karnataka, the Congress government has gone very much against the nature in the early days of administration. And because of this, they had planned, we are facing all this. Out of 50 lakes, 38 lakes were closed by the Congress government 40 years back. Why did they close it? Why did they go against the nature? Okay. And because of this, we are all heading towards this incidents, very painful incidents, I must say. And the Comprehensive Development Act is not implemented tooth and nail. I've told earlier also. And
okay, all right.
The urban ceiling.
Let me ask Aiyshwarya Mahadev of the Congress. I believe this is not just one underpass. There are 29 such underpasses across the city of Bengaluru, and most of them were flooded last night after the rain. Isn't this an abysmal sort of statement on the infrastructure story in Bengaluru? Last year it was the outer ring road areas, the IT corridor. This time it's even happening in the heart of the city. A person dying because of waterlogging should not happen in a city like Bangalore.
Good evening, Zaka. At the outset, I would like to express my deepest condolences to the young lady that lost her life. And it is extremely unfortunate that this has happened. And to apportion blame and whatnot, I think there are a few systematic issues that have happened. The BJP spokesperson went on to say it's a 40, 50-year-old problem. It is one simple thing, ma'am. If you are a party with a difference, if you believe in Achhe Din, Vikas and Amrit Kal and whatever new terminology you're using now, what is it that you did in your term? Inclement weather also happened last year. You saw the sort of flooding in Bangalore. You saw people losing their lives then. In the 1 year since, what is it that you have done? What has the BBMP done? And what is the sort of audit that happened post that? Today, Zaka, it is not about apportioning blame, but there are certain realities that have to be made clear. The BBMP has not had elections in years past its mandate. It is now being run by only administrative officers. Mr. Tushar Girinath has a lot of explanations that he gives out, says there will be an audit, sits in front of computers, well and good for him. But what action plan is on the ground is something that the Congress government, which just came into power on the same day we took oath as our Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister and ministers did, have rushed to the spot and have also had a conversation about what is the status on all these underpasses. There are systemic issues of infrastructure, which we should have learned lessons from.
Can I ask one second? Let me ask the question. These underpasses, and I think Prakash can correct me if I'm wrong, these underpasses have been in existence for at least the last 10 years, if not the last 15 years. What then have successive governments done? Because rains happen every season. In fact, in Bangalore, it happens every couple of seasons, right? Twice in a year, there are heavy rains. What have successive governments done by way of audit of these underpasses? And like I said, there are more than 24 of them across the city. Not something that was built yesterday or the day before. They've been there for at least the better part of the last 10, 15 years.
Zaka, the problem is not of underpasses in themselves. It is about routine desilting and also maintaining the drains that go through there, especially if they're in low-lying areas. I could have an underpass for the past 50 years, and if the BBMP is not clearing it out, desilting is not done. If you are not maintaining your drains or the drain work is not maintained, that is obviously going to lead to waterlogging. So you can say it has been there for 10 years, but the civic duty and the responsibility of the BBMP officials in this case of maintaining this and having learnt their lessons from last year is what has not having learned their lessons rather is what has caused this lax in this situation. It is not about the infrastructure. It is maintaining upkeep and management of infrastructure. There are 4 callers
who are also on the phone line. One second, I want to get Prakash in first, please. Prakash, you're a resident of Bangalore. Other cities also have underpasses and flyovers, and there are places that get waterlogged. Mumbai, famously, every time there is monsoon, there's this Milan subway, which used to be the go-to for all TV journalists because it would invariably flood. But to say that a person died because of waterlogging and the car, unable to pass through the water, that is just unheard of. I mean, you heard what Mr. Bombay said. There have been, cases of waterlogging in Bengaluru city also, last monsoon, the monsoon before that. But people dying because of that, surely something more could have been done to save this young lady.
Well, firstly, this underpass where this tragic incident has happened is less than a kilometer from the seat of power within Sauda. And maybe the police, which are very used to putting up barricades, could have just put a barricade across that underpass if they thought it was dangerous and it was filling with water. And, you would think that was something really commonplace and easy to understand, and maybe that should have been done. There's no point blaming any government or minister or chief minister on this, because the political class in Karnataka look at Bangalore as an ATM, I think, and, they don't really do anything with this party or that party. I mean, I've been here. I was born in Bangalore, and, it's just become worse every year. These underpasses are really bad engineering and very poorly designed. It is next to Cubbon Park, by the way, it's adjacent to Cubbon Park, and, it should be really easy to drain the water from there. And yes, there's no great maintenance, as the Congress spokesperson said. And it was not there before also. But I want to tell you, this is an engineering problem. There is a very good study done by satellite, image triangulation, which shows that Bangalore has a ridge at the middle and water flows, as I said, even the last time, left side and right side. And, you know exactly where water logging could happen and where it should be avoided. And, Bangalore is a city of engineering and technology and rocket science and satellite science. I don't think there is any conversation between technical experts in this city and the government. All that the governments, I will say, look to do is plan some, overhead elevated roads, hundreds of kilometers of them or tens of kilometers of them. And then we'll have to go and protest and file cases before NGT and so on. And then usually the government doesn't last till it happens and it goes away. There is no, there is no BBMP election, correct. Yeah. But there is no comprehensive development plan for the city. There's no master plan for the city for, I don't know, 2.5 decades now. It's really terrible. And, the Bangalore development story is always in the hand of the chief minister of the state, because it's such a very powerful portfolio that it is never given to no single minister is given this charge for a very long time now. Mm-hmm. It's a real problem, and it can be easily solved with good engineering, but I don't think anybody has interest in that matter.
So let me get some callers in. Incidentally, all of them are calling from Bengaluru today. Prem Raj is our first caller from Bengaluru. Yes. Good evening, Mr. Prem Raj.
Yes. Good evening to you. See, I think this incident has been happened because of the bad maintenance of these underpasses. Mm-hmm. And the bad drainage systems are not being done properly. And I think the proper maintenance system should be installed all the underpasses. And also it could have prevented if there is a flood warning signal or water logging warning signal could have been installed in all underpasses. Yeah. So it's very easy for the coming traffics, the car traffics to understand what is in behind. Because in all developed cities, if there is an incident or the road is blocked, you'll get an early warning system. Mm-hmm. That means you cannot pass through that area. So this could have installed in all underpasses easily in Bangalore. That is with very, very minimal amount. It could have saved lives of.
All right.